That works.
Yeah, we good.
Hit him with that. Turn up the radio. Turn off that bullshit.
Turn off the radio. All right, let's see here.
Yeah, we're smoking on that Rush pack this week.
Yep.
That's how we.
Yep.
We're smoking on that Rush pork belly, that fat bitch. Fuck out of here, bro.
Cutting bacon off his back.
And I'm tired of people talking about, it's wrong to make fun of dead people. Why? Why? Where does it say we can't do that?
He didn't live a great life. I
Even
respect it. I honor the dead, but you lived a shitty personal life.
Why do we have to? What if you're an
being.
atheist? You have to talk nice about the dead? Why?
You have to talk nice, but I think you respect the dead. But
why?
He doesn't deserve any respect. He didn't deserve any respect in real life.
No one even earns their deafness. We all get dead. It's like the easiest thing to do is to die. Nah, no honor, Rush. Get out of here, bro. I wish you could die twice.
I think we're really showing respect because we want people to show us respect.
Exactly. I think it's people believe in superstition. They're like, oh shit, if you shit on the dead, you might die. I am gonna die. So even if I'm nice as fuck to everyone, I'm gonna die.
Either way, bro. We out of here either way, so we might as well bang on the system.
Exactly. Rush, get out of here.
Yeah. Fuck Rush.
Well, happy Black History Month.
And you know what it is. We came in here for you, Huru.
Huru.
Take some tap dance lessons, just a shimmy all over that dude's grave.
Go Sammy Davis style on his fat rolls.
Welcome to the Liner Notes Live. I swear. It's because of this album we keep having technical issues on this side.
Yeah, man. They're trying to stop us. They
don't want us to be great. They don't want us to bang on the system, man.
We behind enemy lines, man.
Absolutely. Clear this up. We are live. We are streaming. Oh, brother Rod's in the building. I see you.
Congrats,
Peace, brother Rod.
Congrats to Rod for launching his podcast today.
Yeah.
Yesterday, maybe.
Rod's on Facebook. I can actually see Facebook comments on it. Oh, we in here. The all-seeing eye can finally see all four platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, we are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch.
If you're the all-seeing eye, we might need to ride on you.
Nah, man. I'm for the people. We're not William O'Neill over here, bro.
That's what all the seeing eyes say.
Not CBS over here.
Look at man, Wiley Stiley in the building. Look at man, we made friends. They're friends of the show for sure.
Friends of the you guys are like officially friends of the pod, man. I like it. Well, welcome, y'all. Episode 14 of the Liner Notes Live. A-Quil here. We ready to bang. Oh, and this is look at that. I got the RBG, you know what I mean? Okay. Alibi got the Panther hat on, you know what I'm thinking?
And the shirt, People's Free Food Program. You know what it is?
He remembered the People's hat and the People's, hoodie, but not the People's name. Come on, man.
I get got my government out here. It's all good. You keep, man. See?
Survival in the building, man. He rocking that Summerfest, you know what I mean? You better know about that Summerfest if y'all in Boston, you know what I mean? You better check him out. You know what I'm saying? Joel over here. We see you with the drink.
Once COVID's done, please
AKA
come.
Mr. Moonlighters Club. Hey, Joel, you know what's funny? On a side note, Facebook does the little memories 3-4 years ago or whatever. It wasn't this week, but I think it was a week before. The memory came up when we did an interview for Moonlighters Club like 4 years ago.
Yep.
All about that shit. Well, look at my man. He's been out here podding for a minute. Joe trying to come for the Podfather spot. You know what I'm saying?
Pod Prince. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Prince Jewel, Pod Prince.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Suede. I am not Illuminati, man. Come on. See y'all got Suede over and call me Illuminati for being able to see all four of these places we streaming, man. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, Suede.
Are you looking at the Facebook Live?
Yeah. No.
Okay. This randomly has closed caption on it.
Really?
You can turn it off.
Yeah.
Nah, you can turn it off.
Nah.
Okay. You can turn it off.
It sometimes pops automatically for me.
Yep. That's good though, man.
Look at
them being able.
Shout out to them.
Able positive.
Because I don't know the ASL. I don't know how to do that.
Gentlemen, how y'all doing this week?
How are you? Let's start with you this week.
Yes. See?
Look at you. Oh, it took him a couple weeks, but he got it, man. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm good. I'm feeling good, feeling great. You know what I mean? We got the, we legalized the nappy over here. You know what I'm saying? I just had to show you at least one time because, it's going to cover all up, but I ain't trying to hide that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling good, though. Just week was all right. Nothing too crazy. Well, I mean, outside of just like trying to get my sink fixed, but that was about it. Week was all right. How about yourselves, gentlemen? Alibi, you're not on mute, so I'll start with you.
I'm doing good, man. It's work-wise, like I've hit the wall, so to speak. Yeah. Like, yep. I'm done multitasking. I'm done and I'm not done working, you know what I mean? But the wall is real, man. But personally, outside of that, I think I'm doing good, man. Feeling good tonight. Had a little bit too much yesterday, chopping it up with y'all on the happy hour. But yeah. We bike. We
here,
bike.
Man.
We're here.
Brother Joe, how was your week in DC?
I'm chilling, man. That's it. Pretty straightforward. You stay in the house, you go to work.
Like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah. It literally is Groundhog's Day, except way more depressing.
Definitely. That's why I got too happy on the happy hour last night.
got a little happy. Got a little happy. So, Bravo, how about yourself, man? How you feeling, man? How was your week?
It was good. Better than last week. That's all I can hope for.
That's good. That's always good to hear.
1% better every day. You feeling better today?
That's every day.
I mean,
you got Kenny Brown in the building. Kenny Brown, what up, Kenny Brown?
Look at man, shout out. He's another friend of the show.
Yeah, man. We got our friends out here. Shout out to everybody joining us once again. He's streaming on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I think Facebook and Twitch is the most popping, but it's all good. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is episode 14. So if you guys, I always explain this at the top of the podcast. We got a few new folks I hope is going to join us. They hit me up during the week, but they thought that the live show today was the podcast. So I was trying to distinguish. So once again, y'all, we drop a podcast every Wednesday. Yep. And that's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can download and stream the podcast, except for Tidal and SoundCloud. We everywhere. We out here. And those are every
Jay-Z
Wednesday.
hates us.
No, he don't. He bad.
He shouldn't. I mean, we had a Black Album, a classic.
Exactly. We just ain't gave all his features classics, but we gave his album classics. But yeah, we out here. So that's every Wednesday we drop, and we dropped our episode Dead Prez, Let's Get Free. Blah, 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 this Wednesday. So make sure you check that first, and then join us here every Friday. We're live, you know what I mean? And that's where we catch up and do some more talking. We do some more reviews of what went down this past Wednesday, what happened during the week. People be in our comments and I mentioned. So once again, as we let y'all know last week, don't hit us up directly. Like put that out on Spotify, put that on, on Apple Podcasts. Put those reviews and comments.
Put that in the comments.
Yeah, don't text me, man.
Because we're going to get into it. Don't y'all hating. Behind the scenes, y'all got negative things to say. Definitely. You don't like the reviews, that's cool.
I don't want to see any more screenshots of how I may or may not have brought down the podcast. Just put it out into the public and let everyone decide.
There's no such thing as bad engagement, and I respect everyone's opinion, even if it's wrong.
You too.
Absolutely. I mean, unless you sit on this album, I don't care. I'm sorry, but I wasn't supposed to do that yet. I'm sorry. Not yet.
Or you're a super cracker. Like Rush Limbaugh. Like Rush Limbaugh.
No. Like Rush Limbaugh was. He's out of here.
See, normally I would say RIP, but no.
Yeah. I will give a RIP to our brother Prince Marky D. He just passed yesterday. Shout out to the Fat Boys. And today is actually his birthday. So shout out to him and RIP to that brother. Legend, hip hop legend. So we gotta get some Fat Boys music on at some point. I don't know about on the pod, but just wherever.
Hey man, if you're at home after this pod, you need to play "Typical Reasons" by Prince Marky D. The song's incredible.
Okay,
play it. Prince Marky D and the Soul Convention.
I'm with it. And then
also you need to watch the Fat Boys movie. It was one of the greatest.
Disorderlies?
Disorderlies was awesome.
One of the greatest hip hop related movies of all time. It's such a fun movie. Like it's such, and they redid it with Babs, which I'm not mad at. But it was one of the fun. I'll never forget that movie as a kid. I watched that movie 1,000 times. It was hilarious.
And Crush Groove.
Gotta watch him in Crush Groove.
I haven't seen Crush Groove in a minute. Let's just start with the Fat Boys. See them to get through that.
That was because we're the liner notes. That was the first album. Jay-Z said that was the first album he ever bought.
Nice.
The Fat Boys?
Yeah. That's crazy. Give us the bag, Jay. We knew that.
Yeah.
I think that's working. There we go. All right. And then also I want to send a shout out to my cousin Regina. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday. Love you. I mean, before I had an actual sister, like that was my cousin, her, and my cousin Rhonda. Those were like my sisters growing up before I actually had a real sister. So
I haven't met Gina. I've met a lot of people in your family, but I don't think I've met Gina.
You've definitely met my cousin Gina. When you see her face,
Regina, she live here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then I didn't.
Yeah. You met my cousin.
You right.
And then also send her a shout out, or not shout out, I'm sorry, but an RIP to my cousin Raymond. He got murdered 17 years ago to the day. I mean, I'm not throwing it out flippantly. It's just, it is what it is. But, love you, cuz, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Ray, man.
Yeah. My cousin Ray, man.
Peace.
Also, I just want to throw out some other random, facts. So we like doing that. Black facts, Black History Month. Did you know on this day in 1993, Kenya Moore was crowned the 42nd Miss America or Miss USA?
No,
Who?
I didn't. Yeah.
Kenya Moore.
Oh, Kenya Moore.
Oh yeah, that's right. She was Miss. Yeah, she talks about it all the time.
Another Jay-Z connection.
Yeah.
Also, did you know on this day in 2002, if I'm saying it correct, Vanetta Flowers became the first Black athlete to win gold at the Winter Olympics in bobsledding. On this day.
We out here.
All this Black
bobsledding.
She was a track runner, man, and she didn't make the Summer Olympics in 2000.
Running.
Switched to bobsledding and killed the game.
Hey, man, bobsledding looks a lot funner than sprinting.
Yeah. That was definitely that event. If I was ever doing the Winter Olympics, it was either bobsledding or curling. I don't know why I liked curling, but curling just looked like mad.
Curling looks wild.
Curling does look wild.
Yeah. He's like,
bobsledding's dangerous, but that shit look fun, man.
Yeah, people die from that shit, dog.
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
But she won a gold.
She won
and
gold,
tap
man.
danced on y'all.
Exactly. This one.
Mad cracker tears.
This wasn't no Cool Runners out here, man. She took the gold, man. Anyway, shout out to them, and also prayers up to everybody in Houston and Texas overall dealing with this cold and all this stuff. I mean, we in Minnesota, survival in Boston, Joe in DC, man. We know how this cold go, man. But Houston wasn't ready for that, man. Texas wasn't ready for that.
Texas, yeah.
I'm a firm believer that James Harden sent that back in the trade for Brooklyn. So
it's fucked up, James.
Blame James.
Why you do that?
Yeah, homegirl Isis is down there. She's doing good.
She's
all right.
I got some cousins down there. I didn't realize how many cousins I had down there. We got the homie Joe, got the homie Mike down there. You said you was talking to him a little bit. He's doing all right.
Yeah, hit up my guy. I talked to him today, yesterday too. The weather's breaking, so they're all good. They're good.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. Well, that's all I got in Black excellence and random Black facts for today, February 19th. Y'all got anything y'all want to add, or any just random stuff in the news you want to add? I wasn't gonna talk about Limbaugh, but y'all brought him up.
No, he's dead. That's good.
That's a good thing. No, I think we need to get into this album.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, let's get into
your reviews. Get into your disagreement.
Yeah, let's do it, man. And I'm gonna do one more shout out, of course, because this was the second week that we had our brand new intro music. So again, shout out to the homie Dialect who hooked that up. He's got a YouTube video he broke down. Make sure you check that out on YouTube. Can somebody throw that YouTube link in the comments for me? And then if somebody can throw, actually, I'll do it because I can throw it in the all-seeing eye. That's not really the all-seeing eye. But anyway, shout him out. Appreciate you.
It's the some-seeing eye.
I'll put his website in there too for y'all. Check out his website.
That's right. Shout out,
yeah, man.
But I do want to ask, officially get into the album. We reviewed Dead Prez, Let's Get Free. You know what I mean? And yes, it was officially a classic at 22, but I feel like it was a lot of struggle to get there to the classic. I mean, Joe had did a little work at the very last second, about 3 seconds left in the fourth quarter. He hit a 3-pointer, made the game winning shot for it to be a classic. Though his individual score still wasn't classic technically, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I still respect the bump up, and then while we were trying to record this episode, we had the most terrible connection issues, folks dropping. We just put it out there because usually we can smooth stuff over. But I love the fact, it's funny, and Survival, shout out to you. You hooked up that editing. We appreciate that because everything was flowing smooth, and I was like, I don't really see where any of the drops were, and it was all good. And I even didn't realize at one point Joe wasn't talking for a while, and it was pretty smooth until he comes back and just goes, "Fuck Comcast," and I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "All right, well, yeah." So it was just funny that this was the episode that we had the most issues, but we got it done, fellas. Yeah. We got it done, man.
They tried to stop us.
They did, and it was a great episode. No, we can't stop, won't stop. But yeah, how did y'all feel about the episode overall? Survival, how did you feel? I know you said that was your first listen through, all the way through, and have you listened to it again since?
So I I honestly have some resentment towards the episode for having to stitch it together. But no, I thought it was good. I think it was our longest episode to date.
It was.
It was like 225, somewhere around there. So a lot of good content, a lot of good discussions.
There is, but for some of y'all with short attention spans, it's cool. Like the next episodes are not 2 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, you can also skip around. There's a lot of discussion about the album itself. There's some anecdotes from us personally. So, and we don't do that every episode. So you get to learn a little bit more about us and how we grew up. So I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I want to apologize because I feel like I had a lot of different points where I was just talking mad long about me and my upcoming and all that. So if y'all thought it dragged on a little bit long, I apologize.
No apologies, man.
Nah.
You didn't. You're right. I was gonna say psych because it was right in the notes. you didn't let me get my psych off.
My bad. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't looked at a single outline for these episodes yet.
That's okay. I like it better when you guys don't, so I can just kind of.
You're such a great host.
Oh well, thank you. Only for the lives.
Shout out A-Quil.
Shout out.
Thank you. It's only the lives, man. Joe's a better host on the podcast, so it works out. You know what I mean? So you dig. No, so actually I don't regret any of that. So I don't care. This was the one album and one episode where I was gonna go ham and didn't care. For any other album we do, I have no problem. And not to say I was still very impartial, but I just also had to put a lot of why this album was important. As some of y'all did agree, 79% of y'all on the polls at Alibi throughout. So Alibi, shout out again, you be killing the polls. 79% of y'all did say this was a classic, and that means 21% of y'all are not ready for revolution. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, and for the haters, some of those folks voted more than once, and because they got multiple accounts, so it's probably more like 64, 36. But either way, majority still wins.
Exactly, it does. What did you? I know, Survivor, you said you had a chance to listen through because you were stitching through a lot. Was there anything that we covered or didn't cover in an episode that you want to bring up here on the live? Joel, same with you. I feel like you had a chance to listen through it a lot back.
Can't think of anything off top. I feel like we covered so much ground that episode, and I mean, I'll throw it to you, Joel.
I'm just looking more at my score. I'm fine with it's weird. I'm fine with my score. I'm not mad that this album's at 22, but I'm fine with me not rating it as a classic either. Like, I think they did a great job on this album. They really did. And I think most of that comes to composition skills, because the tough thing with me in this album was like, if I were 10 years younger, my segment on this album would be 30 minutes shorter. Like, and I've always been angry at white people, but it just I would be, you know what I mean? It was more internalized. So it's interesting. I feel like this is one of those rare albums that can't just exist, unfortunately, because of what it's about. So when I feel like just listening to it, the way it was put together, I don't mind anyone going, no, this is a classic, because what they put together was great. They executed something that was great. They may not have been the most gifted people to rap or produce or whatever may have you, but you can't deny that two people came together and said, let's just do something. Let's come up with these topics. Let's rap these through and put it through. And they executed that. And they executed it probably. And I know we're going to talk about rappers who everyone touches on topics that they touched on before.
Yeah.
But if we're really going to talk about people who focus on that, who focus on issues like socialism, racism, things like capitalism, things of that nature, I have yet to see something that I think I'm going to call as clean as that. I think I'm automatically going to go with the buzzwords like Public Enemy and stuff like that. But as a project, you're like, bro, I haven't seen this. I haven't heard this. So I just think people who come out and say yes or no are like, yo, this means a lot to me. Yes. So this means a lot to people. Yes. And the people that are no are like Joel and 98. Like, man, all it is bean pie shit. Yeah. Like, there's no way you can just be impartial and just play it through and be around that cusp and be like, yo,
right.
I think it's people like, these niggas trying to sell us something. Like, dog, it's not, bro. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. That's a hard ass take, man. Like, and I agree with it, because I also respect the fact that you didn't rate it a classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's plenty of people that would feel that way, and that's and I'm absolutely fine with that. But it's like, just like fighting for revolution, it's like the goal was achieved. You know what I mean? Cool. It don't really matter how we got there, but we got there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this joint was a classic, and that's what this kind of content deserves. You know what I mean?
Every hip hop fan should listen to this, and it's like, it's interesting though.
Even like, white people.
Yeah. I see. The thing I find is interesting is, Stefan, I want to ask you, because when I moved to Minnesota, sorry, Stefan, I called you Stefan again. Fucking survival. Yeah. I know these people personally. I know these people.
Oh, good. I'm not
Alibi. Yeah, meeting A-Quil and Alibi in Minnesota, their contingent of friends were really like key on these topics and things of that nature. And moving to Minnesota, when I did, I moved to the burbs. I wasn't in the city like Minneapolis, so I know a lot of like just no good niggas. I met them later on in life, but I didn't know that many. But to be fair, the people I knew in Boston were like, whatever, you're seriously, but we're gonna listen to whatever. There were definitely people listening to Dead Prez, but it just wasn't as prevalent. So
right.
What is that block? Because I remember when hip hop came out. Not only do I remember when hip hop came out, I remember seeing them on Chappelle later on. I remember consistently seeing that video. I remember consistently hearing about Dead Prez. If someone would have brought up Dead Prez to me, I know exactly who they were. But I would be interested to know what the block is to the content. You know what I mean? Like, what is the block to here? We know you. Boom. Just listen.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I had that same exact kind of disconnect, and it's weird because for all of the hip hop that I've consumed, it runs the gamut from like the Nas's of the world, and I bought the Quellies of the world, and everything in between. And there was a time when I was 19 years old and I had big ass white tees and Girbaud jeans, right? And then there's like a transformation that happens in your life, and you're listening to different shit, and it's like you're all over the place. Like, you like what you like, right? And to your point, like, there's a cognitive dissonance that happens when I'm aware of you, but I don't really fuck with you. You know what I mean? And that's really what was happening with me in the year 2000. And even 2003 when Chappelle's Show came out, and like that was the theme, and that was my shit, and I watched every episode, and it's it's the intro and the outro, and every time he came back for commercial and all that, it's like there's still no like, let me go see what this is about. So
some of that's because my bad. Go ahead.
No. I'm really glad that we got to the point where I could listen to it all the way through and like give it its due,
right?
With a really kind of analytical ear and eye.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that I would have been in the proper headspace in the year 2000 you know, at 17 years old to be like, you know, all right, cool, uhuru, you know what I'm saying? Let me switch my whole shit up, and you know, like I'm down for the cause. So, you know, at that point, it was more like I'm just trying to get through high school and have someone touch my wiener. You know what I mean? I didn't give a fuck about any of that other shit.
Would you say have someone touch my wiener? I immediately go to teachers banging kids. Like immediately. That's not appropriate. As soon as you said the way you said it, I'm like, oh, that's not right.
We don't want to go. We don't want to go to day schools like that. No.
Nah, 100%. Hey man, we podding right now, man. This shit hard.
Yeah, man. Couple quick shout outs. DJ Suede said, regardless of it being a classic or not, it's probably one of the most well put together albums I've ever heard. It's like watching a movie.
Yeah. I know you're gonna shout out a few more people, but here's the thing with this album, man. This album is polarizing, and that's fine.
Why is it polarizing?
Because everybody don't fuck with what it's talking about. You know
Folks
what I mean?
fucking with revolution?
Or how it's talking
level.
Or how it's talking
free? You're not fucking with getting free?
I mean, maybe, but like to some people it means being I think to everybody it means being equal. You know what I mean? But as we always argue about, it's the how, right? And this album is focused on not us, it's focused on what's happening to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in some respects, like maybe that makes it somewhat dated, but that's even for the super analytical people. Yeah. For most people, they're just most casual fans. They listen to this shit and they're like, dog, this production is trash. Like, and these dudes it's a lot of words. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, that's unfortunate if you view it that way. like for real.
What would make the production trash? Like, do you think people have a limited scope of if it's not a banging beat, then it's a trash beat? You know, I think you made a great point. I would say at least behind the scenes. I'll just bring it here. Where one of the questions we ask about different albums is, did it set out to do what it was meant to do?
Right.
And this wasn't an album that was meant to have like club banging as
beats. But if that's what you gravitate towards. Then this ain't the album for you. And that's totally fine. But here's the thing, like the liner notes, what we do is not necessarily for the casual fan. You know what I mean?
We be digging.
If you listening to us, like you're a music person. And what we're defining as classic is the things that transcend like everything, right? Because some of our own personal bias comes from like the region we live in, the era we're in. But the thing about music is it can transcend all of that. And that's where like this album, what it's talking about transcends everything. The only time this shit should be played out is when we actually are free. I mean, so if you got an issue with the fact that like the beats ain't a bop, you know what I mean? Like that this shit, like that says more about you than it does the album, because they did exactly what they showed up to do. And we're always gonna rate. Part of how we're gonna rate the shit is what you sought out to do. You know what I mean? Like we could rate a Baby album, Lil Baby or the Baby. You know what I mean? Right. And we're part of what we're gonna rate it on is, did it accomplish those things? We won't. You know what I mean?
But we can.
But if we did, my mindset going into reviewing that album wouldn't be like, let's focus on what this album was and did it and what it set out to do.
It's contextual.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that there's 2 points I want to make. I'll try to make them quick. The first one's about production. I don't know if y'all know this. Alibi called me a bitch ass nigga, but he didn't say the word. When I was listening to this album,
I think I stitched it together.
When I was listening to this album, I said, I don't know, man, production at times sounds repetitive. It's okay. He goes, oh, you just like really clean production. And I felt like he has smacked me with his words. He smacked me in front of my wife. Like that's but when it comes to production,
because Shanae was fucking with it.
Like when it comes to production, let's just like let's give you all, like, when we're talking about production, we're listening to everything from this to Doggy Style to Kanye West to, like, you know what I mean, Black Album. So if you don't rate production in a vacuum, and these albums in a vacuum, literally it's going to be like 4 albums that have 5s and 18 albums that have 1s. Like, there's just no way to do that. So I told A-Quil when I heard this album, I like it and I love it specifically because of the fact that it sounds like two niggas set out to make this album. And when I met y'all in Minnesota, I would hear up and coming rappers like when I was growing up in Boston often. But when I was listening to you all make like, you know what I mean, make your music, put it together. Dialect, putting the beats together. Y'all, this is playing stuff for me, right? From other people. And I'm like, yo, this isn't, they're not in the studio making, this isn't the Neptunes or whatever. But when you go out and when I hear the whole thing come together, I'm like, this is pretty good. So when thoughts on production aren't just make the most amazing beat possible. There are beats that are made better by what is happening after they are made. Like, it's not just the fact that you have this elaborate thing. There's also really good beats that have terrible. We talk about Kanye West. There are really great beats that he's made where it's just average content, where you're just like, this is just what it is. I like the beat. And so that's why production is what it is. My other point is we need to get out of the mindset that you need to be in a specific mode to listen to this type of content. Like, as Black folks, we think we need to be all in on positivity, and we need to not be like, it's like church for us. We need to, like, if I'm talking this, I can't be talking nothing else. Like, if I'm listening to Let's Get Free, I have to be in Let's Get Free mode and do this. Which is funny though, because I listen to a lot of bullshit. And if anyone ever said, because I like niggas dying on wax, my nigga. Like, I was listening to 50 Cent. Like,
I like crack.
I was 50 Cent. I was listening to 50 Cent.
Smoke crack, don't you?
They ain't like, show me where they at. Just pulling out the straps, all that shit, right? But if someone were to say, yo, Joel, what the fuck? I would go, oh, I don't kill anyone. I don't, like, I can easily be in whatever mindset. It's not hard for me to get to a place where I can enjoy that music. I hug my wife every night. I don't cheat. I don't hurt people. I love my community. You know what I mean? So I could easily be like, yo, I can just listen to it. I just think we need to stop making it so hard for us to be positive. You don't have to put in Let's Get Free and fucking put on essential oils and, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't
have to have mind sex.
You can just listen to the fucking.
You can have real sex. It's okay.
And that was my issue.
My bad.
That was my issue. The issue was that, you know, it's music too. Yes, the content is very important, but as artists, it's music too. Give it a fucking chance. That's it. You know what I mean? It's just like, yo, music.
I know A-Quil got something next to get to, and I want to let Survival get in, but I got to bring it back to what we talk about. This shit is a musical book, and a lot of y'all don't like reading, man.
I just want to say about the production. Like, I obviously heard it way after it came out, and you try to take a step back and put yourself in a position where, like, okay, I was here in 2000. All right, so if it sounds a certain way before I press play, I don't want to take anything away from it because of the era that it came out, right?
Right.
And I didn't really feel that. I didn't feel that it was like in any particular space where you know, I had to get transported back. Like, I actually like the production a lot.
It's good.
Kind of independent of the lyrics. And then when the lyrics on top of it, it just, like, it made it a very cohesive listen. Yeah. So I honestly didn't mind, like, if the production went to someone else, you know, I don't know that they could have made a bop out of it, you know, to your point, Alibi, but it's still, like, very, very usable, you know, beats and mixes and production. Like, it's
well, because it fits. Yeah. Right? Like, the production fits the content.
Yes.
It merges. And that's why it's not fair. Like, if you prefer dance music, cool. Like, there's no judgment about that. There's a certain way to make, like, dance music that makes you want to dance, though. It's right. Like, if they said our purpose in making this album was to make you dance, I'd be like, fuck no, this album is not classic.
Exactly. And it's so easy. Like, it's formulaic. Like, anyone can do that, no problem. It's like, you know, you get a loop, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't make anything in minor. Like, you have it be really upbeat, and then you fucking, like, you go from there, and then you layer shit, and that's not what they did. That's obviously the furthest thing from what they tried to do. Because
Revolution it's not happy. You know what I mean? It's bittersweet. You know what I mean? Like, because we wish we didn't have to do all the shit we had to do to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's hard. And it's easy to just go, you know, shake your ass in the club and forget, or, you know, go somewhere else and just, escapism is what it is.
This
and
album
people would rather escape than do the work.
100, man. This album don't let you avoid nothing, man. And so you're not gonna listen to it if you're not trying to hear none of what it's talking about. And I'm totally, and I think we all are saying like we're totally fine with that. You know what I mean? Because we not everybody don't. If I'm trying to just put something on a TV, I'm not trying to just put on 12 Years a Slave.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting down intentionally to watch that movie to get something out of it. You know what I mean? I'm moving with purpose.
As a white savior. Why they have Brad Pitt come as a white savior? I'm sorry. Come on.
Look at Joel's like, this nigga just brought up 12 Years a Slave.
I've never even seen that movie.
Me neither.
They made Brad Pitt the white savior.
Me neither, man.
You don't need to see it.
I'm all set.
Man.
Watch Judas and the Black Messiah. I heard it's amazing. I'm all set.
I'm on it this weekend, man. After the Patrice O'Neal documentary.
10 o'clock, baby.
Or maybe reverse, because I'm gonna need to laugh after I watch how they did Fred, man.
Yeah. See, and I'm not gonna front. I didn't want to watch Judas and the Black Messiah. I didn't want to watch it because I didn't want any humanization of William O'Neal. That's what it felt like. I'm like, I don't want nobody copping pleas for this dude or making him like, oh, I see why he had to infiltrate the Pampers and bring him down. Fuck that dude.
No, you not. Yeah, you're exactly. If you're watching this movie and you're starting to feel human, like see his humanity, you lost track of the fact that like this brother fucked up and killed somebody and jacked everything else up.
The reason I don't want to watch it is why I do. The reason why I don't want to watch it and that I do want to watch it is the fact of like, it's like this album. It's just a movie, but it's not. It's like it's like the whole thing we argue about with Obama. Is like when I talk about this movie, I'm like, yo, I don't want to do this. It's profiting off whatever. It's more trauma we're walking for, this and that. But no, these black dudes are writing this and putting this together. And then at the end, you're like, it's just a fucking movie. Who cares? But it's not. Like, it's not. It's so much more than that. Like, it's like, yo, I love art. I love well-written movies and great movies. But like, do I really want to see a theatrical rendition of this shit? I don't know, bro. Like, like I'll give them money and not watch it. Like, it's like I don't even know. Like, I know. It's like I love art, but I also know my history. And it's like, how many times do I really want to sit through this shit again and go, man, I cried real tears again. Back to work.
Yeah. It's heavy, man. Heavy.
Fuck.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Definitely.
Pretty much. I'm going to comments real quick. Shout out to everybody in the comments, man. Y'all's active today, man.
They're activists. If you here for this album, you're activists. I don't care if you're not here. So I don't want to hear if you tuned in and your response is to hate on what we're talking about right now. That meant you tuned in to hate. Like literally, you tuned in just to because you already knew how we reviewed this album.
That means you watched Judas and the Black Messiah and you were laughing at the end, like, got him.
God, shit. You on the wrong side, man.
Wait. You saying they was rooting for Meth Damon?
I was rooting for Rush Limbaugh.
Meth Damon?
Yo, he is definitely, no offense to anyone, he is definitely Down syndrome Matt Damon. Ever since I saw him, he looks so he acts stupid too in a lot of shows. In Breaking Bad, he acts stupid the whole time. I'm like, bro, you
got the syntax, man.
Look up. He messed up Walter White, man. I can't trust that dude.
That dude is the worst.
He's worse, man. He's all bad.
I used to call him Fat Matt Damon. Go ahead.
Right?
He was a child actor,
wasn't he?
I can't remember.
That's not right.
Yeah, I thought he was like
he was in like Sandlot. He wasn't in Sandlot. We're the liner notes. I know he wasn't in Sandlot.
No. We mess it around.
And we fuck with Sandlot.
We do. To the comments. We do. DJ Sway said, does anyone turn up I'm an African at least a notch when Stick says turn this motherfucking shit up? And the answer is
yes.
Every time.
Damn, that should have been a poll question. Remind me, we're gonna post that shit like the rest of the weekend. We don't get a lot of engagement on at least on our Instagram over the weekend, but I'm gonna put that shit up. That's gonna be our poll. When he says turn this motherfucking shit up, do you turn that motherfucking shit up?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't.
Yes.
That's not one of my favorite songs. I don't really get into that song that much. Like, it's literally when they get to track 2. So I'm like, these niggas are serious, dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish the comments and let's go track for track.
Hold on. Because here's the thing: if you listen to the intro, there's no way you're not listening to I'm African. You know what I mean? Because once he hits you with the wolf story, you already like in like full fuck these crackers mode.
He said, "Why do you have a car?
So when like that shit drop in, it's like, hey yo, turn
have a house."
Exactly. So when he's like, hey yo, turn this motherfucking shit up, you like, oh, I gotta turn this shit up. They talking that shit.
We also got a correction on the production. Head rush is 2 people, Tahir and Abu, if I'm saying those correctly. So
yeah.
Liner notes for the liner notes. I might have said, I think on the episode, like head rush was 1 person. So I understand that.
I know I didn't know who they both were though. I definitely copped to that. I knew Tahir, but I didn't know who the other person was.
Abu, that's it.
That's something new every day.
Wiley Styley. He said, speaking of production, DP has mixtapes, mainstream production. Yep. So order turn off the radio mixtape. So we talked. Yeah, we didn't talk about that on.
They were on Big Pun's album.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that track is
another album
another
album that could or could not be a classic.
Yeah.
What they were doing on that album.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It was harmonizing, man.
They needed the sun and the moon.
It was helping Pun out. All right.
I'm just noting who their contemporaries were. That's it. Damn. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm saying.
Yo,
shout out to Loud Records. Go ahead,
Joe. Come on, man. If I was having a down day, man, and I just need to sing about the sun and the rain, you're not gonna help me out, bro?
Nah.
You're not gonna help me out?
You're not gonna put on happiness?
Yeah.
Come
on, dude.
Yeah.
Happiness is that shit.
Mary J happy? That's really happy. Regardless of how you feel about that. Even her happy was a little bit down because that's like true Mary fashion.
I love Sway. He said one of the ironies is I'm African is his favorite shit. It's all good, Sway. We know where you at, man.
Every white person is African. Let's clear this up because it's Black History
Everybody's
Month.
African.
It's fucking exactly. Literally everyone on this planet.
Did you not see
Cradle of fucking civilization?
I'm agree with that. That I'm like, no, you are cave people after a while. Like y'all, we're not.
Joe believes in Yakubians.
We are all descendants of Pangea, absolutely. But
where's my doctor? Francis Cress Wilson.
Man, and I feel like you got Dr. Francis Cress Wilson and Joel out here. I feel like he got a turban or like a fez hidden somewhere. You know what I mean? Or like a show enough.
The couch.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he said a show enough shoulder pads, man. Let's take a look at some of these tracks, man. But you got a question while we're pulling up the track list. My question is for survival. Someone pointed this out to me.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all good, man. You got to sweat too much. But they were just talking about how you had mentioned that you'd probably save this album to play for the little one when she gets a little older. But in the previous episode, you were not saving Snoop from your daughter. So why were you saving Dead Prez from your daughter, but not Snoop?
Not saving Snoop? You mean like
not saving him from Snoop?
Yeah, as in you were okay to play Snoop around your daughter, but you were not okay to play Dead Prez around your daughter.
So wow, someone went really, really deep there.
I like it, man. They listening.
Yeah,
whoever that was, I fuck with. Shout out to you.
People listen.
Whoever.
Man.
Salute. I don't.
But they was listening. They was woke. They had their third. Man, they're ready for revolution.
So here's the thing about like the type of music that it is,
and it's all good fun, by the way.
I think it's more of an implication of understanding the music, right? Because I think you can listen to Snoop, and for me, it's like mostly bops, like all that shit. It's like timeless shit that you can vibe to. What I'm trying to do, like especially in my fucking my new wave of like jaded dad, black dad, midlife crisis sentiment is like, I'm gonna raise this kid the way that, and my wife is white, so for everyone that's listening, like there's gonna be a little bit of a disconnect with how she's perceiving the world. Like, do I go to Hebrew school, or do I go with dad and fuck with some Dead Prez? So, and I want her to like really internalize all the stuff that I'm going to be presenting to her, and that is
You
going to
send
happen.
her to Black Hebrew Israelite school?
No, we're not doing. First of all, we're not doing either of them. We're not doing any of that.
They're generally sexist. That's why you shouldn't send them there.
They also don't own buildings.
They own corners.
I really want her to have a good frame of reference, and I feel like you can't do that like until you're older and you have like an understanding of like who you are. You just have that like self-awareness. And so I don't think I'm gonna save it for long, but like it's gonna be in the repertoire to be like hit her with all the the Black classic movies and the all the art that I want her to, and I think DP is in the tuck for like, you need to know what the fuck is going on and listen to all the stuff that was happening in 2000 and fast forward to whatever year it's going to be when you hear it. Yeah. Look at where we are. So good question though. That
is an awesome question. You're doing an excellent job of facilitating, A-Quil, and I know you like to talk, but you also like to listen. But like,
shout out to whoever asked that.
Yeah, and shout out to you for recognizing the value in that question, even if people decide to turn it off because they feel like we're talking not about the music, but we're here to talk about like us. And I think like, yeah, it is. And I would say this, like survival, like I think about that, and I'm I feel like that's okay to like want your daughter to listen to that shit later, because our kids deserve all of the joy that they can get on the front end, because shit's crazy out here in these streets. You know what I mean? And I'm the blackest light-skinned nigga, like straight up. But I feel like it's when it comes to like our kids, like they're gonna be fighting with this shit the rest of their life. You know what I mean? So if you don't want to play this album for your kid young, cool. Play this shit though at some point. You know what I mean? I've been doing all Black History Month. I've been posting books for people to read. And I try to mix in like, fiction authors, you know what I mean? Because I think there's a place for like Black escape that we can like enjoy. You know what I mean? I respect like Black joy, and we need that. But at the same time, like a lot of the shit, like we need to read and we need to study and do our lessons. You know what I mean? And, like I tell my son, and you're going to tell your daughter at some point, like shit's not always like fun. You know what I mean? And you got to be ready.
Salute to you, because I chose The Sellout for my book club book.
That's what's up. Shout out to Paul Beatty, The Sellout.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, I haven't read that, man. So like, as you're maybe I'll read it with you, so I can be like.
It was between that and the White Boy Shuffle, and
both are great.
Yeah, I just had to. I flipped a coin. Really.
Nice. Hey, man, shout out to the coin. But I think.
but I bought them both. I bought all of them. I bought that and a couple of other books.
Yeah. And that's what's like, our point is, and I know A-Quil got it, and we trying to keep it under an hour here, but like, the reality is like, that's what it is. Sometimes we got to tap into like this stuff. I understand the escape, because if you're worth your melanin, if you're worth your Blackness, you out here spending some time fighting whitey. You know what I mean? It's the reality. I don't, but like, definitely like it's a time to like twerk. You know what I mean? And if
everything has its place,
even if you got to twerk more than you got to fight, like I respect whatever fight you got as long as you're fighting. The only time I feel like you're a sucker is when you're not fighting, which is why every one of y'all should have rated this shit a classic. And I'm gonna be quiet there.
Word. I like it.
I mean, I didn't, but
I didn't either.
It was very close. I just didn't think it had the impact.
A 22 is perfect though, man. Like a 22 is perfect because like it made it. It don't matter. Like
it made
between
it. It
22 and 25, like
point.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Shit's classic.
Right. No. I did think that was funny. I was like, half the podcast didn't rate it classic, but and that's what I said. I didn't have no beef.
They respect it though.
I didn't even know survival.
And they want to be free, but they might not throw a Molotov cocktail at the precinct.
But they'll cheer the person, and that's cool too. We need that.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. We're gonna need like additional content to like reveal all of the scores and everything. I think everyone will generally be pleased with all of our like you know what I mean, are like aggregate scores.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else from the pod that we want to mention that we didn't mention?
I mean, I mentioned it before. It was a pain in the ass putting it together, but I'm really glad it got out. I'm really. I apologize for the tardiness. We usually try to get it out in the morning, but it was just one of those things where we had a lot of files and a lot of shit to sift through. But
it's all good.
Came together.
Dude, the revolutions always work, man. Even just getting the episode out. I was gonna ask too. What is because so one thing we always talk about is impact. So that was a key part, right? Whether it was being classic or not, no one felt like this album was going to be a 5 for impact. And most albums that we review, at least this first like 14, 15, like most of them do score high in impact. So how do you properly judge the impact of a Dead Prez? Like, is your impact more artist based? You know, like how do you? Because like clearly, more goes into impact than just selling albums. And we discussed already behind the scenes. We have some stuff we're going to break down to really show the audience how we break these 5 criteria down. But just in general, like people will see, you know, okay. So for instance, Nelly went diamond, right? So does that mean that Nelly's Country Grammar has more impact than a Dead Prez? Or like, you know, like what else is there? We talked about Dipset before. Like they changed, you know, how fashion was for a little bit. Does that mean it has more impact? So how do you measure if we're using these measuring sticks? Dead Prez didn't change fashion. They didn't sell records, but how do you measure their impact?
I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna go very quickly because this album is pretty much on par with what I thought about Black Star as far as the impact. And
you gave us a better rating though.
When you're trying to think about, so for me, when I'm thinking about how to rate the impact of a specific album, there's a little bit of a domino effect, right? And that's something that we can't avoid. The reason that we're reviewing these albums is because we know about them, and that's obvious. But we can't say just because we know about them that everything's a 5. It's like, how did we get to that point where we knew about them? How do we get to that point where we knew about the actual album? And how do we get to the point where we're investing hours and hours of time of rating all the songs, getting to a point where we're rating all these categories, and then we're doing a recorded episode, and then we're doing a live episode, right? And so for me, like I tried to, again, so and Joel kind of alluded to this, like I had heard of them, and I had seen some of their influence and music video stuff like that, and then the song, which was a single from the album, was on Chappelle's show, and we talked about on the pod like how Chappelle had connected with them, and so for me, I attribute a lot of their influence about how I know about them from Dave Chappelle, and so it's like it's a little bit like tangential. You know what I'm saying? But you have to consider that and take that into effect. Like, all right, this. Sometimes that's just how it works. Someone who is more prominent than you is fucking with your music, and that's how people, get to hear about it. So, I don't want to go into like a long diatribe about that, but I think it's just really interesting, and we've had like a lot of conversations around like what does impact really mean? How do we evaluate it? And it's more art than science, obviously. As far as when we're rating everything, but some of them like you just know, and some of them you have to like really really think about the impact. And I think this one is one that you have to really really think about and consider the impact, and that's one of the obvious reasons that it doesn't make it a 5. And you just have to choose like, all right, well, where does it fit? Under the landscape of a 5.
Funner, easier shit just has a steeper slope. So
this
is just going to be something people are going to look back on. Like, unfortunately, everyone doesn't know Fred Hampton. Everyone doesn't know these regional superstars, the Deacons of Defense or things of that nature. It is the MLKs or the Malcolm X's that are the first things you think of. Harriet wasn't the only slave that was leading people to freedom. I mean, let's just like, it just is what it is. So in terms of music, it's just one of those things where like, I just look at what people did after the fact. And I think because of the way that this album came out for them, like this is one of those times where you see a kid punch a teacher and you're like, I've been waiting to punch that bitch the whole time. And then you see it happen. And you're like, good.
Bitch could be a man too. For the record.
Yeah. I was assuming, you know, like my teacher from third grade, this bitch, and I hated her. But I hated
was it the hen again? Okay.
No, this is the Trotter.
Every time I try to clean some shit up.
Hey, this is Let's Get Free, right? So anyway, it's like you watch. This is like watching someone do. It was like, and I don't even think of this dude that way. I'm just using it as an example. It's just like people watching Kaepernick kneel that were other athletes. You're like, that's crazy. I'm not gonna do it, but man, that's crazy. Then he goes away, and you're like, man, remember that? That was crazy. It's easily gonna be something. And now the commissioner, everyone else.
I want to say something about Kaepernick when you're done. When you're done.
Hey, that dude who we blackballed. We should have gave him another fucking job. And then now the way you're looking at all this, and you're like, yo, it was big. It was more important than we thought. It was bigger than we thought. Unfortunately, the moment we saw a touchdown, I was like, oh shit, sports is back. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we're not past kneeling.
No, we're not.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't. So we're past the initial kneeling 4 years later, right? So you know, let's keep it a buck. If this was safe to say, I hated the kneeling, not what it stood for and what he was doing. I didn't want to see this grown black man on his knee. I don't like that image, and I don't like it because his initial protest was sitting, and it wasn't until I believe dude's name was Nate Boyle, the Army Ranger dude.
I remember that.
Came and was like, yo, like, because all these other folks are getting confused and think you're disrespecting soldiers. And Cap was like, no, I'm not disrespecting soldiers. So it was a cool compromise. Because he was like, well, what we do is like when we have a fallen friend, a soldier, we take a knee. So Kaepernick then took the knee. And I'm like, I don't like that your protest was compromised. Like, do what you feel. And if you felt like sitting, then sit. Like, you don't have to appease this, this dude. But I get where it was trying to go. But I don't know. I never liked that.
Hey man, here's some.
I never want to see y'all on y'all's knees. Stand up.
I think it was it was gonna happen either way. But like,
stand up. You're a king. Stand up.
To Joel's point, right? So Mahmoud Abdul Rauf did this shit in like 1994, right? And nobody talks about it.
Yeah,
like back
they
when
wiped him out of the league. They got him out the league.
Didn't Craig Hodges too?
Yeah.
And it's like. He could have been the Kaepernick of his day, but
and
it's just the way that things happen throughout history.
Well, and here's the thing I want to say about that: like you should use your voice, right? Because at the end of the day, the shit that's crazy is like I'm choosing a silent protest because I'm not trying to be extra. You know what I mean? Like. Colin Kaepernick could have stood the whole time and talked about all the shit that he disagreed with.
Press conferences after every game.
Yeah. And he did talk about it, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, like he wasn't like,
Yeah. He talked about it because you asked. He honestly, like the difference between a silent protest and the thing is, like, if you're gonna be met with that kind of resistance, you might as well just say what you got to say in the first place. Right?
Right.
And I guess I share that to say, like, I respect the person equally who chooses to take a knee or speaks out, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't matter either way. Because what it really does is it clarifies what whoever has an issue with. Because right now they can play the game of like, well, he just shouldn't disrespect the flag. If I'm standing up, you can't say that because I'm speaking out. So it's clear that what you have a problem with is what I'm speaking about.
Yeah. You're moving the goalposts.
Yeah, we do it all the time, but I think that's a super important distinction. Like he could have stood up and now all of a sudden you can't say they made it about like he's taking a knee when it's not about whether or not he's taking a knee. It's about what he's taking a knee for. 100. Right. And if you stand up, then it's clear. If you speak out, then it's clear.
Yeah.
And this album, to bring it back to the album, this album spoke out.
This album,
100. And I'll be the first to tell you, like, I'd be curious to hear like Survival, like, because you listened to it straight through more recently. I remember what it felt like the first time I heard this album. I loved it, like on a certain level, but on another level, I was like, holy shit. Like these fools just said all these white men can suck my dick. Like that's some like it wasn't like nice.
And
it wasn't kneeling. It was like
Yeah.
all like y'all can suck my dick, telling me white man lies. Straight bullshit. You know what I mean?
It's
like
interesting.
And that I'm gonna let you talk, but that like made me like there was a part of me that was like, damn, well, we ain't got to do it like that.
Yeah.
I want to be free, but I don't want to have to like smack a cracker or like clap somebody.
And that's
you know what
that's
I mean?
probably what
throw a
what I wasn't,
Molotov
like,
cocktail.
I wasn't really drawn into when I was 17 because again, I was like I was trying to do my homework. I was trying to get up on the phone, between 10 and midnight while moms was asleep, and I was trying to convince women to little girls rather because they're 17.
You were little too.
You know what I'm saying? That I knew what the fuck I was talking about, and business was to be tended to, but yeah, it's like when I listen to this as a man, like a jaded man, having gone through like all of these things, like especially in Boston, which is a historically like very racist place, and it's kind of it's
still a racist place. I don't even live there, but
it's veiled in like this like liberal like
Minnesota
fucking
too.
utopia, and I hate that. It's just it was really refreshing to listen to it, and it was really refreshing for them to not have a filter about it, because like oftentimes you hear it peppered in like a lot of folks music who are in the mainstream, but that's not what they do. They just let it, they might give you a bar there, they might give you a verse, they might give you a song, and then that's it. It's back to fucking party time. These dudes were like, nah. And we mentioned it on the pod. Like, they were trying to go hard because they thought that they might never get another chance to do it. So, and that's
word to Dave Chappelle, because the same Tyrone Biggums was the same thing. My bad. Continue your point, but like
no, that was the entire point.
Yeah, like he was like, yo, the reason our first skit was Tyrone Biggums was because if I was gonna get canceled, that was the one skit I was gonna get out there. A black blind Klansman. You know what I mean? I'm gonna address racism as hard as hell, and then I can fuck around with the fuck around.
Oh, you mean Clayton Bigsby?
Yeah, my bad.
Tyrone Bigsby, but that's why I appreciate
Clayton Bigsby. My bad.
That's a little different.
That's why,
a little different.
That's why
very different.
I appreciate
this
album more, because we give too much credit to, and this isn't a knock on Dave Chappelle, but let's keep it real. We give too much credit to the Chris Rocks and Dave Chappelles and the Jay-Z's of the world. We watched Clayton Bigsby. No one learned anything about racism. Nigga, we laughed. Black people knew what the deal was. White people laughed, and Rick James bitch came out, and they're going to continue to call us nigga when our backs are turned.
I forgot about that skit.
The difference is Dead Prez was actually calling people crackers. Like, it's not a mystery about how they felt about the world.
Track 1 through,
and I'll close on, like, I won't do it, but the point is, aggressive black men either have so great an impact that you wipe that generally the impact they have is so great that you don't see them anymore. They said they did everything they were supposed to do. They came out, it was great. But unfortunately, that's why I didn't have an impact, because those white execs are like, okay, let's all meet together. We can't have this shit, right? All right, cool. Right.
Damn.
Oh man, I mean, but they're still out here doing so. They're still dropping projects. Like, I think they had
and have grown.
Yeah, they've dropped like 4 mixtapes total, like 3 albums total. Plus, like M1 had Confidential solo. Stick, I think, had like 2 or 3 solos. They got the RBG Fit Club. Like, so they're still out here active and doing work. I mean, and it's similar in that way of Kaepernick, where it's like you might not hear from him because of the mainstream, but he's still out here doing like work somewhere. They're still out here putting in like mad work.
And the reality is that doesn't matter, because the real impact is change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, revolution isn't popular. The real impact is change in and of itself. So if they accomplish something, dope. There's nothing you can say about that. One way or another, they push this shit forward. Like, you're not going to stop progress. You know what I mean? This album's only irrelevant when we're free.
Cool.
You know what I mean? Then this cannot be a classic, and I'm totally cool with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You ain't never got to listen to this shit again. But for now, hey, turn that motherfucking shit up.
Turn that motherfucking shit up. I feel you, man. I think it's almost that time. Y'all, we got time for a game, or y'all want to get up out of here? That was like a nice note to end on. I like that. But
yeah, that doorbell meant that I gotta.
Yeah. Well, we'll do one last shout out to the comments. Then again,
It's no, hey, it works though, because it's no. You're gonna give your comments, but like, there's no games on this album.
I'm gonna let you finish.
It's no games on this album, man. Fuck a game, man.
Yeah.
We here.
Set
You with the shit or you not?
A little bit.
Yeah.
By the way, if we ever say the word crackers or anything like that, we're talking about food. So for any sponsors or anything else like that,
no. If you get offended, you're who we're talking about. Like, keep it a buck. If you're mad right now at home, like, you need to read. Am I really a cracker? Is the question you should be asking. You know what I mean?
Well, there should be a book. There should be a book that just like, yo, hi God, are you there? It's me, Cracker.
What?
And with that, he's gone.
Oh shit!
I think it's
okay.
Yeah.
He just dropped his mic. That was
I was just gonna say the original where that word comes from is not even that. We just use it different, but yeah, we'll leave it there. Let's just sign out. Again, join. Make sure you listen to the episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Every Wednesday we drop. Oh yeah, what up, Lyndon? Lyndon just joined the chat. There you go.
What up, Lyndon?
Hey, you're gonna have to rewind this. You're gonna fuck with this shit.
Turn this whole motherfucking shit up.
Turn this motherfucking shit up.
He just let y'all know. He just let y'all know where that name comes from, which I was gonna say, but it's all good. Oh no, I gotta say this story before we leave. I'm sorry, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know if any of y'all saw the Drink Champs episode with Dead Prez and Quali. Wally Stolly brought it up in the comments. But because I wanted to bring this up on the podcast, forgot. But they told a story about how they had an opportunity to work with Prince. And they were super excited about that. But you know, Prince at the time, well, I think up until he passed, he was Jehovah's Witness. So he was down to do the track with them, but he was like, but y'all can't curse. So they were kind of like, wait, how can we not curse? But like, we know you was Prince, like you was like Nasty Man, like Pussy Control, like that was like, we know that Prince. So what? But Prince was still like, but I still need y'all to be y'all, like full go, like don't curse. But and he goes, this is the quote that they said. I'm not putting no sauce on it. He was like, don't be like Common, be like y'all, like go hard, don't be Common. He said, I don't want y'all to be soft. Like I like Common, but he said, I like Common and I don't want y'all to curse, but I want y'all to be y'all. Give me Dead Prez, don't give me Common.
And that was pretty validated for Alibi.
How do you feel if you're DPs, man? Because y'all are cool, like y'all, man.
Did they ever end up working together?
No, they didn't get a chance to. They didn't get a chance.
It don't even matter.
That's a great conversation with Prince.
Go to the Drink Champs episode with Quali and Dead Prez. I don't know the timestamp.
Damn! Shout out to Nori for giving them that platform, and shout out to the liner notes for getting that shit out too. We did liner fucking notes, and you ain't gonna hear that story nowhere else but from the horse itself.
It had Prince in it. You know how to tell that. You know.
Hey man, shout out to Minneapolis, man.
We out here, Twin Cities. We out here. Anyway, so yeah, no game, man. I like this right here, man. Let's get up out of here. No games. No games. Dead Prez, what about them games, man?
Give them the ats and let's get out of here, man.
Let's give them the ats. Thank y'all once again for joining the Liner Notes crew. This was episode 14 of the live Dead Prez. Let's Get Free. Make sure you listen to that album, listen to our episode, listen to all of that. Shout out to everybody in the comments who has given us their favorite songs off of that, like Propaganda, Police State, I'm an African, hip hop. Like, shout out all y'all. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, share, subscribe wherever we're at. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. Sorry, we're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at the Liner Note 79. We're on what else? YouTube with the nasty link. But we got more subscribers this week, so we appreciate y'all. We just need more. We getting up there. We're on email, so at the Liner Notes Crew at gmail.com. You can hit us there. And again, rate the podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Do not text us. Do not email us unless it's the group email. Don't call us. Put that stuff out there. Let's get it going. We building. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all for real. Like, we got something special here, man. We're only 14 episodes in, but we setting ourselves apart, man. We're giving y'all the details. We're giving y'all the liner notes. So if y'all want just to blend, whatever, there's other podcasts for that. We the liner notes here. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. Until next time, joined by Joel, Survival, Alibi, A-Quil. We out. Yahuru, Yabasta. That's not, not that way. This way. Yabasta. That means we had enough. You know what I'm saying? Throw it that way. Or, for the rushes, throw it that way. Whatever you want.
I can throw it that way. All right.
Either way.
Gotta tell my son.
Peace, y'all. Salute.